What's going on today, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. So today we're going to be taking a look at a production knife, the first production knife from a brand new company called Arcform. I'm not going to be talking much about Arcform, the company, because honestly I have no fucking idea who they are or where their website is mostly like that kind of stuff you'd hear in a meeting from like a consultant, like we use synergy and blah 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 to build top quality, you know, and that's all well and good, but it doesn't tell me anything about them. They do have an address in Utah, but I don't know if that's where the company is based out of, so I can't tell you one way or the other, you know, where this knife was made, or who made it. What I can tell you is that I really like it. So this is the oh shit, what the hell is it? Slimfoot, the Arcform Slimfoot, designed by Geof Blauvelt and obviously made by Arcform. So their first foray into the knife making world, they picked a pretty popular platform, the titanium frame lock flipper. They did I will say the handle really reminds me of the Warrior V1 from Liangma. That the whole what the fuck was I gonna say? The silhouette of the handle really reminds me of that. The blade does not. The blade is extremely different. This is like almost. No, it's not almost a Warncliffe. It's a sheep's foot. It's a really interesting looking blade. It almost looks like a straight razor. But okay, let's go ahead and get into the specs before I start rambling on too much. So we have a 3.3 inch blade of CPM S35 VN steel. Like I said, it's a sheep's foot. Thick-ish blade stock. Not thick for the size of the knife, but thick-ish. And then we've got a hollow grind. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, we have a hollow grind. Variable hollow grind from, you know, halfway at the base to 3/4 towards the tip. It is very sharp. I was shaving some hair off my arm with it before I started the video. We do have Arcform's logo there, a full length groove or fuller in the blade, and that, I guess that sort of demarcates where the top like sledge is, because you can see it obviously it's thinner up top than the widest part of the widest part of the blade is here on this flat. The flats, as you can see, have that grinder satin, and then the bevels here are stonewashed. You can see towards the front there's a little swedge too. So yeah, this blade reminds me of like a straight razor type, if a straight razor was a lot thicker than it normally is. I believe that is, I don't know what the fuck that is. I thought it was Mr. Blauvelt's maker's mark. I guess it could be, but I don't know. But it's small and it's tastefully done, so I really don't mind it. Yeah, very interesting blade shape. Very useful for certain things. This would be awesome in the kitchen. Not like the finest tip for detail type stuff, but anything other than that, it's got a really nice edge to it. Obviously a premium steel, so it's going to hold the edge for a long time, and definitely interesting. It's not, you know, not the most common blade shape. Yeah, if you saw that there, the action on this knife is incredibly smooth. Just very, very, very smooth. Yeah, when I took it out of the box initially and I was flipping it for like half an hour, I started to get a little bit of like a gritty feel. So I went ahead and cleaned it, and then just put one little drop of nano oil on the detent ball, and that turned into this. So handle length 4.5 inches, titanium with a carbon fiber inlay on the show side, and I'll show you the very well done. You can't feel the gap with your finger, you can just barely see it with your eyes, but I like that. It kept this knife from being completely and utterly forgettable aesthetically. Obviously, yeah, the blade shape is a little different than usual, but you need something more than that to set your knife apart. So that sort of, just that little, that inlay there, just that alone was enough to make this knife completely forgettable. To make it not completely forgettable, apologies. Locking side, obviously very plain, but a nicely done 3D milled titanium pocket clip. The 3-prong cutout there for the lock bar. You can see the over travel stop. God damn, bugs everywhere. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Really sorry about that. These bugs are driving me fucking nuts this time of year. They're in my face nonstop. Anyways, sort of a decorative, almost Kaiser-esque pivot, but it is Torx, so easily disassembled. Here's your lockup, fairly early, maybe 20%, 15-20%, and like you can see, it's steel on steel with that insert. Why do they want to fly into my eyes at all times? Anyways, the lockup is great. You cannot flex the blade, you cannot move the blade, period. Very secure lockup, and very easy lock release with 0 stick. And then that turns into, boom, right there. Detent is, it's not strong, but it's certainly not weak. This is more of a, I love this flipper tab. It's above the pivot, way above the pivot. It's flat, and it's also, you can do, if you want to do push button, you can. It works really well with light switch. This flipper tab and the cutout for the flipper tab are probably the favorite that I've seen recently, especially in a production knife. I liked the fraction. If you go back and look at that video, this one is better because of that little cutout there. That's attention to detail, you know. There's places for your finger to rest. Obviously, there's jimping that goes just down the side too. There is no friction between your finger and the handle whatsoever when you're flipping the knife, and that's a beautiful thing, as Nick Shabazz would say. A beautiful thing. So details. This backspacer is pretty cool. I guess about 1/3 of the length backspacer with a very fine gear pattern, and then milled in the center. Yeah, I like it. Different. The backspacers aren't really my thing. I'm not ever looking at a backspacer going, whoa. I guess if it's like a nice floating backspacer made out of some crazy material, I might take notice. I mean, that's kind of cool. I like the milling work done there. Hidden stop pin. There is no stop. There it is. It hides kind of under the flipper tab when the knife is closed, and then obviously you're not going to see it when the knife is open. Oh, yeah, you can. As far as weight wise, we are looking at just under 4.5 ounces. I had 4.4 ounces on my scale, so I could probably just do a video and show you this flipping action, and you would go out and buy the knife. As far as value goes, so we're looking at brand new from the maker, $350, or I shouldn't say from the maker, from the like Blade HQ, they're available, $350. That obviously puts it in an interesting place. That puts it in competition with Wii knives. That puts it in competition with really high-end Kaisers. Kaiser tends to stay lower than the 250 range, but I guess a really high-end Kaiser. That puts it in competition with, like I said, that Liangma Warrior 1 in carbon fiber that I showed you guys. That was around that price, maybe a little bit more. And I think it does a fantastic job of if all the knives have action like this after a slight break-in period, I think they're going to do really well. They are using the same, top of the line materials that those companies are using. They are obviously partnering with custom knife makers like Geof Blauvelt. Their machining processes, as you can see from the detail of their work, obviously they have a hell of a manufacturing process. This carbon fiber is flawless. The mating between the carbon fiber and the titanium shows me that they are working at a very high level, and that's a 90-degree mating there. That's not like there's no dovetailing going on to make that a little bit easier. That's tough to do with basically a completely unfeelable gap. Yeah, really well done for their first foray into the knife making world. Ergonomically very comfortable. You have the, Jesus Christ. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm still gonna put this video out. I'm not gonna fucking redo the whole video for one drop of the camera. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, ergonomically very comfortable. Pronounced finger groove there. Other than that, completely straight. No jimping on the spine, but you don't need it. Once you put pressure here, that locks the knife in. Really good in the pinch grip. Interesting blade. Yeah, I think $350 is a good price point. Obviously, man, it would be great if it was like $200, but they know their competition and they know that they can hang with the competition, so that's where they priced it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this first look at the Arcform Slimfoot. Hope you enjoyed it. Got plenty more to come, so stay tuned. Take it easy, guys.